Welcome to Owls Field here in West Lawn. Another night of the Berks Baseball Showcase here on MikeDragoSports.com. My name is Bruce Badgley along with Mike Drago. And, Mike, we're ready for another evening of some really good baseball action.
Yeah, we were here for a great game last night. Conrad Weiser had a 1-0 lead, took it into the fifth inning, but Fleetwood's bats came alive, and they pulled that one out 5-2. Now, big game here for Wilson and Daniel Boone for different reasons. I mean, they both have playoff aspirations. The Bulldogs are going to make the county and district playoffs. They're in great shape, but of course they want to enhance their prospects in terms of power ratings and seedings with a win tonight. Daniel Boone right on the edge of making both the county and district playoffs, but they need to win out, and they're pretty beat up right now. They're missing a bunch of starters, and Jason McCord is just trying to
Duct
make
tape
things
and
work.
baling wire
That's
tonight,
right.
it sounds like,
That's right.
for Boone tonight. But, hey, that's baseball. I mean, really anything can happen. And, momentum they always talk about is, the next starting pitcher. So, Boone going to lace them up here. And for Boone as well, we've got some stars here. Nick Sismaric, the right fielder. Maddox Roy at third base. Just stalwarts. And, again, for Wilson, what more can you say about Tommy Hunsinger, the third baseman, and a guy who's really played well so far this year, Nick Fiorini, the center fielder. We saw Nick have a really good game, the other night against Governor Mifflin.
Yeah, Nick has a lot of good games. I mean, he's a really good hitter. All-division pick last year, even a much better hitter this year. A cleanup guy. He's driven a lot of big runs for the Bulldogs. And, of course, Tommy Hunsinger, he's a man for all seasons. I mean, we see him all the time, star quarterback for the Bulldogs. He's going to go to Millersville and play football, but also a starter on the county championship basketball team and a 3-year starter here on the baseball team that's got its eye on the county championship.
Yeah, a senior night here for Wilson. Just had the ceremonies there, but the seniors out there, John Bodner, Tommy Hunsinger, Dylan Schwank, Nick Fiorini, Cooper Kennedy, C.J. Fernandez, Matt, and you're going to have to pronounce
Matt
that.
Van Ostenbridge.
Yes, and Nick Scholastico. So, some really good seniors there, and I'll tell you what, I'm really interested to see, how it's going to shape out here tonight. You come in here and obviously, like you talked about, Jason McCord, kind of undermanned or whatever like that. But usually those are the games that, certain guys rise up. And, Jason said, hey, it's next man up mentality. Guys that want playing time, here's their opportunity.
Well, one good thing for the Blazers, they won't be seeing Matt Van Ostenbridge, the Bulldogs ace, probably the premier pitcher in the county. He threw a no-hitter here the other night against Exeter on Wednesday, so he's not available. And, of course, they'll be saving him for next week, for Monday's start, when they have a huge division game against Muhlenberg. Bulldogs have a big week ahead of them. They are a half a game behind Governor Mifflin for first place. If they win tonight, it'll be a first-place tie, and they'll settle things in the right way, playing the best teams in Division I next week. They go to Muhlenberg on Monday. They go to Mifflin on Friday, and that could be the game that decides Division I.
Yeah, all right, and we're going to step away for a minute, and we'll be back with the opening pitch shortly. Stay tuned. Okay, Owls Field, site of the Berks Baseball Showcase this year. Bruce Badgley, Mike Drago are actually third game this week from the showcase. We started out actually on Thursday night with Governor Mifflin taking down Muhlenberg. Last night, a come-from-behind victory by Fleetwood over Conrad Weiser, Mike, and now Daniel Boone and Wilson.
Yeah, Daniel Boone, right-hander Ryan Pence gets the start tonight. He has not pitched much for the Blazers, only 7 1/3 innings. He's been very successful, ERA below 1, but the Blazers pitching staff has thinned out. Their whole roster is thinned out. They've got 5 or 6 guys unable to play because of injuries. So that makes playing a really good Wilson team all that much more difficult. But a lot's going to fall on the shoulders of young Ryan Pence tonight.
Yeah, and so much with baseball is kind of hitting them where they ain't. You never know. They might be able to hit these screeching line drives, but they happen to hit a mitt. So really interested to see, how it all shakes out. But obviously, Tommy Hunsinger's going to lead it off for Wilson. Jack Gable at shortstop, followed by Christo Hunsinger, Nick Fiorini, Cooper Kennedy, Nick Scolastico, Ryan Marmolejos in left field. John Bodner, the designated hitter, hits for catcher Tyler Herbine. And then C.J. Fernandez bats ninth and plays second base. So here we go with Tommy Hunsinger, the third baseman, stepping in against Ryan Pence.
And Tommy Hunsinger, been around forever, it seems, at least a 3-year starter for the Bulldogs, and a tough guy to keep off base. He's got 15 hits and 14 walks in 13 games. So, he's the right guy to have at the top of the lineup.
Wilson coming off a loss last night, actually, to Red Lion, 8-2. So I think they've got a little motivation here today. And the first pitch in there for a strike called.
Well, that Red Lion team, unbeaten, they're 14-0, and through one of their better pitchers against the Bulldogs. Wilson did not, use up its top guys. They're saving them for these all-important league games.
And a good curveball, but a little low, 1-1.
So much in high school baseball is matchups and managing your pitching staff. And, I'm sure Bill Underwood would love to have Matt Van Ostenbridge pitch every game if he could, but it's just not a reality. You can, these guys can't go every day, so you have to pick your spots and save your top pitchers for the top teams you're playing.
The delivery. 3-1 now. Ryan Pence on the mound for Daniel Boone.
I'm sure there's some nerves going on out there, facing Wilson on basically its home field.
And he walks him.
This is not the Bulldogs' official home field. Of course, they play at Wilson West, but this is kind of home away from home.
They're not even the home team tonight.
Right, that's
the
a little surprising to have senior night when you're the visiting team. You don't see that very often, but I think everybody knows they're the home team tonight.
Shortstop Jack Gable, and a throw over to first quickly.
Of course, Owls Field is home of the West Lawn Owls Legion baseball team, where many of these Wilson players play in the summer.
The delivery. And on the outside corner, strike called. 0-1 on Jack Gable.
Gable, just a sophomore, but leading the team in batting, .396. He worked his way into the starting lineup late last year as a second baseman, helped the Bulldogs reach the county finals, and he's been the starting shortstop this year, but done a terrific job.
The stretch, the pitch by Ryan Pence. Oh, ouch, hit him. Not necessarily the way I don't think that Ryan Pence wanted to start it, with a walk and a hit batsman.
Now, I mean, this Wilson lineup is, treacherous to go through, especially the guys at the top. And, boy, you can't afford to do that. But as I said, I think there's some nerves going on there with Pence, as you can understand. His team is up against it tonight.
So that brings up the pitcher, Christo Hunsinger. So 2 men on, no out here in the top of the first inning. Thanks for joining us here on Mike Drago Sports.
Christo batting .354 this season. Bulldogs as a team are hitting .299.
Nice breaking pitch in there by Ryan Pence to get ahead of the count, 0-1. You know, I'm wondering what Bill Underwood's going to do, maybe to get these runners moving a little bit for Christo. The delivery. Right back to the mound, throws to second for one. The relay in time, it looks like, yes, double play. Great job there by Daniel Boone, turning two. And a nice stretch there by Anthony Sismarek at first base.
Great play all around. Ryan Pence, very patient on that play. You know, he didn't rush his throw to second. He made sure his shortstop was there in time, and he gave him a ball that Anthony Minogue could handle. And boy, that's a huge play in this first inning to get 2 outs like that.
So runner on third, 2 out now, and in there, Nick Fiorini, the center fielder.
Yeah, Pence is not out of the soup yet. I mean, this is a tough hitter, a guy that's he's just an RBI machine, and might want to think about pitching around him, or definitely not throwing him too many strikes.
Curveball right on the inside corner.
Well, Pence is going after
0-2. I love his old syrup socks there. Man after my heart there, Nick Fiorini. And a ground ball. Second baseman. Oh, that's a great handle, but just not in time. Ian Cremy just had a difficult time with that. That ball looked like the edge of the infield grass and just kind of died out there. And a good hustle there by Nick Fiorini. That ground ball drives in a run, Tommy Hunsinger, and so it is 1-0 in favor of the Bulldogs, Mike.
Yeah, Cremy really had to go pretty far to his right just to catch that ball, and Fiorini gets down the line pretty well. Running back in football, and you needed a really strong throw to get him, and Cremy just didn't have time.
So good fastball in there by Ryan Pence for strike one on number 13, Cooper Kennedy, the right fielder for Wilson.
Kennedy, one of those 8 Wilson starters, or 8 Wilson seniors, honored before the game tonight.
And another left-hand batter. Boy, they're ball high, breaking ball got away from him a little bit, 1-1. So Wilson with a run here in the top of the first. 2 out though, Nick Fiorini on first base.
And there he goes.
And a good pitch to handle, but Fiorini with that speed gets in under the tag of Minogue, the shortstop. Not a bad throw there by Hayden Lee. It was a good pitch to handle, but Fiorini, as you talked about, with that speed just beats the throw down there. So now a runner in scoring position, 2-1 count.
Bulldogs like to run. Fiorini now with 8 steals. Jack Gable has 10 to lead the team.
And chopped. This could be a tough play for the pitcher to get to first. And a really good effort there. Great throw by Anthony Sismarek to Ryan Pence covering, and that retires the side. So one hit, a run on a hit, a man left for Wilson, and we'll go to the bottom of the second. Wilson 1, and Daniel Boone coming to bat. Thanks for joining us here. Mike Drago Sports coming right back at you. Okay, Owls Field here, Burke's Baseball Showcase. We head to the bottom of the first inning here on the final game of the showcase with Wilson up 1-0 over Daniel Boone. Bruce Badgley, Mike Drago, our friends at BNB Media, Brandon Faust, and our guys doing a great job on all the camera work. Hoping you fans are really enjoying it there. Pulling out all the stops for this one, Mike.
So Christo Hunsaker gets the start tonight. He's would be lined up as maybe the Bulldogs' number 3 starter behind Matt Van Ostenbridge and Ben Culp. So this will be his 5th appearance this year. He's thrown 14 innings, 16 strikeouts, just 4 walks. So he's going to be around the plate. We saw him pitch a great game against Governor Mifflin a few weeks ago at Wilson. Bulldogs, he wasn't around at the end on the mound, but he went a long way towards the Bulldogs winning that game 6-5.
So Nick Cismarek, the right fielder, leads it off for Daniel Boone.
First of the 2 Cismarek twins. His brother hits right in that number 2 hole.
And a really good pitch on the outside corner. Anthony Cismarek, the first baseman, will bat second for Boone. And the pitch by Christo, a nice curveball there, out in front. Batting third, Hayden Lee. Maddox Roy bats fourth. Ryan Kreibel, the center fielder, fifth. Ryan Pence, Ian Cremy, Anthony Minogue, and Zach Hesara will bat ninth. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. Christo Hunsinger sends down Nick Cismarek.
Great location there. Down, a little off the plate. Made Cismarek chase it. When you're ahead 0-2, you can make those pitches.
So 1 down, and Anthony Cismarek, twin brother of Nick, as you said there, Mike.
Anthony leading the team in batting at .350.
The delivery. Boy, a really good pitch on the outside corner there by Christo Hunsinger. Evens the count at 1-1. The delivery. Sidearm there. A little bit outside, though.
Christo Hunsinger, like his brother, an all-around athlete. Plays football, linebacker, and maybe the Bulldogs quarterback next season, succeeding his brother. Played on the county championship basketball team, and he's a junior and a 3-year starter in baseball.
So 3-1 count now to Cismarek. And he hits it out to right field and in for a base hit right in front of Cooper Kennedy. So Anthony Cismarek on with a 1-out single here for Daniel Boone. That's going to bring up Hayden Lee, the catcher. I mean, he's a big boy. Oh, my.
Yes, he is. Nice size. Does a good job behind the plate. Batting .265 this year.
So a runner on for Daniel Boone here in the bottom of the first, 1 away.
He's homered twice. Only Boone player with a home run this year.
Hayden Lee, the catcher, digging in. And a nice pitch. Good fastball at the knees there by Christo Hunsinger. 0-1. Throw over to first.
Nick Scolastico, first baseman, getting the start on senior night.
Yeah, interested to see what Coach McCord's going to do here to try and maybe manufacture some runs, and a foul back, and it's quickly 0-2.
Well, Hayden Lee going to be a key guy for the Blazers tonight if they're going to do anything. They're going to need him to drive the ball into the gaps, maybe knock some runs in.
Outfielder's not too terribly deep. And time called by Lee. You know, a lot of times, and that's a great job, I think, by Crystal Hunsinger there, is, you know, rather than to throw over, just by staying still there is really good to keep that runner close.
Yeah, you step off the rubber, it stops his momentum.
And the runner goes, swings and a miss, and he dives into second base with a stolen base there, Anthony Sismeric. But Hayden Lee goes down swinging for out number 2. And that's going to bring up Maddox Roy, the third baseman.
Third baseman number 29, Maddox Roy.
So 2 out, a runner in scoring position. Boy, this would be big, I think, Mike, if they can, you know, get something in here with 2 out.
Yeah, if they can answer that run that Wilson scored in the top of the first, you know, definitely be a momentum builder.
Big bender there by Hunsinger for a strike called. Actually, I thought it was a strike. They got ball on the scoreboard. So 1-1. Maddox Roy, the third baseman, digging in for the Blazers. The delivery. High for a ball, 2-1. Working the count.
Anthony Sismeric dancing around at second base, trying to distract the pitcher. Jack Gable trying to keep him close, 2 outs. Anything that falls in the outfield, he's going to be able to score.
And a balk.
Yeah. Well, he did distract the pitcher, didn't he?
He sure did. So the tying run just 90 feet away here for the Blazers here in the bottom of the first inning. 2 out now. Maddox Roy, the third baseman. 2-1 the count. Christo Hunsinger wide for a ball. That was a good fastball, but good eye there by Roy to let that one go by. So 3-1 the count. Boy, right on the outside corner.
Christo with 2 strikeouts so far. See if he can strike out the side.
The delivery. He struck him out looking. That was a great pitch by Christo Hunsinger. He struck out the side. No runs, a hit, a man left for Boone in the bottom of the first. We'll go to the second inning with Wilson ahead 1-0 over Daniel Boone. Thanks for joining us here, Mike Drago, Sports.com. We are back in a minute. Bruce Badgley, Mike Drago here at Owls Field. Really a really great broadcast position for us, Mike. Literally right behind home plate, and get a great look at the action here of this. Not only the the players and the action, but boy, I tell you what, the field, and we're just having a good time here.
Ryan Pence getting ready for his second inning of work. Gave up just one infield single last inning, but what got him in trouble was the leadoff walk to Tommy Hunsicker, and then he hit Jack Gable, So immediately the Bulldogs had 2 on, none out, and they were able to push one of those across.
So number 44, Nick Scholastico steps in for the Bulldogs. Ryan Pence, the delivery. Curveball outside. Ball 1.
Nick Scholastico, just 7 at-bats so far this season. Backup first baseman, getting a chance to start tonight on senior night.
Ripped right to the third baseman, Maddox Roy. I talked about that in the open. Sometimes you hit these screaming shots and they hit the glove, and that was the case there for Scholastico, ripping it right to Maddox Roy for out number 1. Brings up Ryan Marmolejos, a freshman who's starting to make his mark for the Bulldogs, Mike.
Yeah, he stepped in and done a great job, batting .297 for the Bulldogs. I mean, this is not an easy lineup to crack, and he's held down that left field position and given, Bill Underwood some offense at the bottom of the lineup.
Curveball up in the zone for a ball, 1-1. Ryan Pence, the delivery. Framed nicely there by Lee, but didn't get the call. So 2-1. So Ryan Marmolejos, the left fielder, swing and a miss, strike 2. So 2-2 the count. We'll start this again. Good composure there to reposition and start again. Ryan Pence, and a ground ball to third. Roy over to first to Anthony Sismeric for the out. So 2 outs here in the top of the second inning, and that's going to bring up John Bodner, the designated hitter. He's hitting for the catcher Tyler Herbine tonight, Mike.
Bodner, senior, getting a start here. First time this year. He's been injured most of the year. He's only had 1 plate appearance, but he made the most of it. He got a base hit, so he's hitting that perfect 1,000 right now. If he gets a base hit, will he be hitting 2,000?
I don't know. We'll have to ask our mathematician for that. Will Roy get all 3 putouts here? Yes, or assists. All 3 assists in the inning. No, he had a putout and 2 assists. Maddox Roy, everything went to third base. He handled it well. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base for the Bulldogs. We go to the bottom of the second. Wilson up 1-0 on Daniel Boone. Back. Okay, Bruce Badgley, Mike Drago back with you here from Owls Field, Burke's Baseball Showcase. And the final game of the showcase here with Wilson on top of Daniel Boone, 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the second inning.
Christo Hunsicker struck out the side in the first, striking out more than 1 batter per inning this year, maintaining that pace. Although it wasn't a perfect inning, he did give up a single to Anthony Sismeric. Blazers stranded a runner on third base.
Boy, yeah. So Ryan Kreibel, the center fielder, steps in, and Coach Jason McCord, he was very honest with the fact that they're coming in here shorthanded, but they're not backing down at all.
Well, they need this win desperately if they want to make the postseason.
Just a little pop up there to Gable. He squeezes it for out number one, and one pitch, one out there for Christo Hunsinger. That brings up Ryan Pence, the pitcher.
Blazers have a tough road ahead if they're going to make the playoffs. I mean, they really need to win out, and they're playing at Fleetwood on Monday and then Warwick on May 5th. And
that tough road to hoe.
Yeah, but they're right there. This win could go a long way to getting them into district playoffs.
Well, there's that huge grouping of teams right there. Literally within just a few fractions of power ranking points. I think there's about 6 teams.
Yeah, they're number 18, but they're right behind Exeter, which is 17. The top 16 qualify. Warwick is I think number 15. So if they can knock off Warwick, they could pass them as well. But they're so shorthanded right now. It's a lot to ask.
Yeah, and considering obviously the amount of games that they're going to be playing in a short amount of time, it's all hands on deck for the Blazers. So Pence digs in there and takes a strike. So that's 2-2 now. Christo Hunsinger, as we talked about, on the mound for the Bulldogs. The pitch. That was a really fine fastball on the outside corner for a called strike. 2 out here in the inning. Hunsinger cruising so far here in this inning. And that's going to bring up Ian Crummy, the second baseman.
Cremmy's had just 3 at-bats this season. He's been a backup, but with all these injuries, he's forced into the starting lineup tonight at second base.
Boy, and Hunsinger just pops that glove for strike 1 on the outside corner. And bounces that one, so ball 1. One and 1 the count. 2 out here in the bottom of the second. And that's ripped up the gut. Actually, a little flare. Picked off there by Jack Gable for out number 3. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. And Wilson comes back here with us at the top of the third when we come back on Mike Drago Sports. Back in a minute. Top of the third inning as Wilson and Daniel Boone face off in the final game of the Berks Baseball Showcase here at Owls Field in West Lawn. Bruce Badgley, Mike Drago, BNB Media. We are just having a great time. Had a great time here this weekend. Our third game broadcast here in the tournament. And quickly, that was number 35.
C.J. Fernandez.
C.J.
First
Fernandez,
pitch.
first pitch hitting for out number 1.
Maddox Roy been busy down there at third base. That's why they call it the hot corner.
Yeah, he sure
He's
has.
handled 4 straight plays.
But that I think is what Ryan Pence has got to do. He's got to pitch to contact and feel comfortable with the guys behind him are going to do their job, which they have thus far.
Well, I would keep letting him hit it to that third baseman. He looks like he's pretty sound down there. Just a sophomore, first-year starter on varsity.
So top of the order again, and Tommy Hunsinger, the third baseman.
So the Bulldogs moved up to number 2 in the district rankings earlier in the week. The loss yesterday at Red Lion, or against Red Lion, knocked them down to number 5. But they're still, they're still going to qualify, still in position to get a home game if they can finish strong.
Yeah, and I think, all they're going to have to do, even to get into the PIAA tournament, is maybe just win one district game, and I think that they would probably qualify even for the PIAAs. No, Mike?
No, I think they just take champions or maybe 2 teams. It's not like in basketball or football. Baseball is tough. It's tough to make that state tournament.
Well, another one ripped right to the glove. Anthony Minogue takes that one from Tommy Hunsinger. So quickly 2 out.
Bulldogs also battling for that top seed in the Berks playoffs. Coming into today, Governor Mifflin was number 1. Twin Valley number 2 and Wilson number 3. That's based on power rating. But if the Bulldogs can knock off Muhlenberg and Mifflin next week, I think they'll move up to the number 1 spot.
So ball inside. That's Jack Gable, the shortstop, and hits it foul down the third base line. So 1-1.
Bulldogs have been aggressive at the plate, not making Pence throw too many pitches. There's 31 pitches here against 10 batters.
So 2-1 to Jack Gable, the shortstop for the Bulldogs. Ground ball up the middle. To his right, Cremy. Oh, just can't get there in time. Strong throw, but Gable beat that one out. As he said, Mike, before, Cremy had to go a long way to his right, and that ball wasn't hit that hard. Consequently, Gable beat that out. And are they giving him a hit?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All the way. Gable got down the line there pretty quickly. Cremy fielded it cleanly. It's just that Gable beat him.
And a ball to Christo Hunsinger, the pitcher.
So I'm guessing Jack Gable's not going to hang out on first base too long.
I wouldn't guess with 2 out.
Yeah, he's got 10 steals already, and he's looking like he wants number 11 here.
Let's see what catcher Hayden Lee is going to do here. He's got a good pitch to catch. Look at that throw, but in safely. Jack Gable. Tell you, Hayden Lee, one of the best looking catchers we've seen in this tournament.
Yeah, we've got some good ones in this league. I'll tell you what, we really do. Shane Rosenberry at Muhlenberg, great all-around catcher, defensively, great arm, good hitter. Mifflin's got Travis Jenkins, and again, an all-around player. And Hayden Lee, he got rid of the ball there very well.
So Christo Hunsinger, a chance to drive in a run, and that was a swing and a miss. The ball goes back to the backstop, and Gable takes third.
That'll be a passed ball.
Yeah.
You don't see that very often where the batter swings and misses,
and
the ball gets past the catcher. Now Pence and his catcher, Hayden Lee, talking it over. I think maybe
a
maybe
little cross up there.
Yeah, maybe Lee got crossed up there. He just wasn't ready. He didn't even see that pitch.
So 2-1 the count now. Christo Hunsinger, the pitcher, opportunity here to drive in another run for the Bulldogs. Ryan Pence from the stretch. Low for a ball. So 3-1.
Well, you certainly don't want to bring up Nick Fiorini in this situation. And like I said, he's an RBI machine, so you got to bring it here to Cristo.
The delivery. And just a little dribbler, and that's Roy. Oh, and he throws it away. That's going to score the run. Rounding second and looking for third, but hanging on second base there. Crystal Hunsinger, I guess that's got to be an error, Mike.
All the way, yeah. Maddox Roy, had plenty of time there, and I don't think he needed the gun to throw, but that cost him.
Whoa, yeah, with 2 out, boy, ouch. And we've got a courtesy runner there, number 4.
Entering the game as a courtesy runner is number 4, Chase Ulrich.
Chase Ulrich.
Now batting the center fielder, number 6, Nick Fiorini.
And as he said, here comes Nick Fiorini.
And I see first base open, and that would definitely tempt me to send this guy down there with a free pass. Never liked to pitch to a hitter of this caliber with a runner in scoring position.
So Wilson with a run so far here in the top of the third. 2 are out, though. Nick Fiorini steps to the plate. Ryan Pence now, the delivery. Right in there, called strike. Good pitch.
Fiorini beat out an infield single first time up. He's a cleanup hitter and a power hitter, but he's got some speed too.
Ryan Pence on the mound for the Blazers. See if he can work out of this jam.
You don't see many center fielders hitting cleanup for your team. Usually they're, leadoff hitters, bat number 2, fast guys.
And you just don't see the old-fashioned stirrup socks either. So Nick Fiorini digging in. Curveball ripped. Cremy over to first for the out. Well, I tell you what, Wilson's hit the ball hard, but not a lot to show for it. So a run, a hit, a man left. We go to the bottom of the third. Wilson now up 2-0 on Daniel Boone here on MikeDragosports.com. Back in a minute. Two to nothing as we go to the bottom of the third inning. Wilson on top of Daniel Boone. Bruce Badgley, Mike Drago, the Berks Baseball Showcase here, Owls Field in West Lawn. Thanks for joining us here on a Saturday night. It's turned into night. Anyway, lights are on. Actually, it's getting a little bit warmer with that breeze dying down, Mike.
Oh, yeah, really? Warmer? Okay, if you say so, Bruce.
So Hunsinger in there for a strike. That's Anthony Minogue, the shortstop, leading it off for the Blazers. And the pitch, really nice on the outside corner for strike 2. Quickly 0-2 on Minogue.
Yeah, Minogue, this is just his second at-bat this season. Again, he's in there because of injuries.
Yeah. Bounces it in there for a ball.
Blazers are like a MASH unit right now. I mean, they're missing their center fielder, Chase Kennedy. He's got a hamstring issue. Nicholas Gualteri, an infielder, rib issue. Backup catcher Logan Herzog, elbow. Chase Yenser, one of their best players and a shortstop, has a shin injury. I mean,
yeah, that's tough.
You know, I reached out to.
And strike 3 on the outside corner there by Hunsinger. And Minogue goes down, brings up Zach Hisara, the left fielder.
Yeah, I had reached out to their coach, Jason McCord, earlier in the day, so kind of get your lineup, you know, get prepared for the game. And he said,
we'll figure it out when we get there.
I can't give it to you. It's a work in progress. You know, we'll see who shows up.
And that's walk to the shot out to the second baseman there, C.J. Fernandez, and easily over to Nick Scholastico. 4-3 for out number 2.
That's 7 straight batters. Christo Hunsaker has retired.
And the leadoff man, Nick Sismeric, the right fielder, steps in. Ooh, curveball. Got away from him a little bit, but ball 1.
Sismeric struck out, swinging, first time up.
And a ground ball, kind of a bad hop, but Tommy Hunsinger fields it, and in time to Scholastico to end the inning. So no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We move on to the 4th inning here with Wilson on top of Daniel Boone 2-0. Back in a moment. On to the top of the 4th. Wilson on top of Daniel Boone 2-0. And leading off for Wilson, number 13, Cooper Kennedy, the right fielder. Bruce Badgley, Mike Drago. Thanks for joining us here, MikeDragosports.com.
You know, Bruce, this Wilson team won 19 games last year, reached the Berks Championship game, the District 3 Championship game, and graduated only 3 starters. Tommy Hunsaker, Christo, Matt Van Ostenbridge, and Nick Fiorini, they were all division picks and all returned to this team.
Yeah, you know, when we're talking to Coach Bill Underwood there before the game, I mean, you could just feel the confidence that he has in this team, you know, with the experience there. And that's something that is really not, you know, prevalent around the district. Not a lot of really senior heavy teams, especially in 6A this year. So Ryan Pence, the delivery, and that's ball 3 there for Kennedy.
Well, the Bulldogs' two biggest rivals in the Berks League. They won't have to contend with them in districts.
Right.
Muhlenberg and Mifflin are both 5A.
5A, yeah. Strike on the inside corner. Yeah, no, you're right. And the same thing too, Fleetwood, really good team. They're a 4A team. They just want to get to the postseason.
And yeah, don't forget Twin Valley 5A.
Right. Correct. I mean, we did not see them here in the Classic, but that's a team that is just running roughshod through the regular season. So, saying, who is that again, Mike? Dylan
Siwick. Batting for Nick Scholastico. And I'm guessing he's just going to get a pinch hit and then a pinch hitting appearance, and then Ben Culp is probably going to come into play first base.
So, Dylan Siwick steps in against Ryan Pence. That's Cooper Kennedy on first base, and he dives back in there.
I'm guessing this guy might be laying the ball down, try to move the runner up. Maddox Roy at third base has the same idea. He's up on the edge of the grass, and I bet he's going to be charging on the pitch.
And they're keeping him close there.
Yeah, well, you need to, because gives you a chance to throw him out at second. You don't want him to get that big jump.
The stretch by Ryan Pence in the delivery, fouled away and out of play. So strike one.
You know, Civic swinging away there. I was thinking sacrifice bunt. Bill Underwood has other ideas.
So that's Cooper Kennedy on first base, and there's a ground ball. Boy, this is, oh my, just too slowly rolled out to the shortstop. Just couldn't get it back to the second baseman in time, and hustling up there was Cooper Kennedy, and now runners at first and second for Wilson, and nobody out here in the top of the fourth.
Little things like that can snowball quickly on you. They can become big things in a hurry when you've got to make the routine play. You got to turn them into outs, and Blazers weren't able to do that.
Yeah, needed to charge that ball maybe a little bit more aggressively. So Ryan Marmolejos steps in, the left fielder. And he's bunting, and it's popped up behind home plate. Nobody can get to it for strike one.
Now, Hayden Lee didn't get a good read on that. He couldn't find the ball. Might have had a chance if he
saw where it went. Yeah, that's tough for the catcher when the ball goes up like that. So 0-1. Runners on first and second for Wilson. Nobody out here in the top of the fourth. Left fielder Ryan Marmolejos. Squaring. And, boy, I think he missed that. But they call that a ball. Okay. Called it. Oh.
Now they appeal.
Yeah, they appeal,
yeah,
and yeah, the base umpire said that he offered at it. So that is going to be now 0-2 on Marmolejo. So he's going to be swinging away here.
Yeah, that's a tough call for the home plate umpire. Did the right thing there. Got his partner to help him out. Got the call right.
So 1-2 now. That ball's high from Ryan Pence.
So a defensive breakdown last inning by Boone led to a run. Let's see if it happens again this inning.
The delivery. Oh, he swung at a low pitch there in the dirt for strike three. So 1 out now, Mike. That changes everything.
Blazers very inexperienced up the middle. Both Anthony Minogue and Ian Cremy, not starters, forced into the lineup because of injuries. And that little mix-up on the earlier play this inning Could be because they just haven't played together too much.
And a play at second. And stepping in for Wilson, John Bodner, the designated hitter. He's batting for Tyler Herbine, the catcher. So 2 on, 1 out. Again, Wilson threatening. The stretch by Ryan Pence. Here's the pitch. Curveball, strike on the outside corner. 0-2.
Well, Bodner took a big hit on his batting average last time. He grounded out.
500-point drop.
Yeah, it's like the Dow Jones on a bad day. Down 500.
Well, let's see what John Bodner can do here. 1-1. Yeah, Pence has battled these guys all. You know, he's had some situations, but he's battled the entire game so far, right?
He has. He's done a really good job. He's only given up 2 hits, both infield hits, to the second baseman. You know, he's pitching to contact. He's not falling behind hitters.
Here's the delivery. Ripped and into left field for a base hit. Let's see if they send the runner. Zach Hassara with a throw in. It is cut off. And an RBI single for John Bodner. Wow, so I guess he's hitting 750 now.
Better check your math on that, Bruce.
666. He's 2 for 3, 666.
I'll give you that, yeah. But hey, senior night gets a start and an RBI single. That's great.
Yeah, he'll obviously remember that. And a big run for Wilson now. 3-0. Still runners on first and second.
It's really the best, the most cleanest hit the Bulldogs have had. First one to the outfield, solid line drive right to the left side of the infield. Had a nice swing on that.
So that's ball 1 to the second baseman, C.J. Fernandez.
Bulldogs still in business, only 1 out, 2 runners on.
The pitch.
Fernandez can reach, could be a big inning because you're back to the top of the lineup. Tommy Hunsaker on deck.
So 2-0. The delivery. High and away. 3-0. Ryan Pence now in a very serious jam. 3-0 on second baseman, C.J. Fernandez. The pitch. Inside for a ball. He walked him, and that loads him up for Tommy Hunsaker. And that brings
Jason McCord going to come out.
McCord out.
Talk things over here, try to settle his young pitcher down a little bit. Like I said, Pence has been doing a really good job to keep his team in it, but you just can't afford to walk the number 9 hitter there with a veteran hitter like Tommy Hunsaker coming to the plate.
Yeah, this damage all done by, the bottom portion of the lineup here in the 4th inning.
And the top of this Wilson lineup is just tough to navigate. You've got Jack Gable after Hunsaker, and then Christo Hunsaker, and then Nick Fiorini. And it's no wonder the Bulldogs score so many runs.
So Hunsaker, the third baseman.
Now batting the third baseman,
Senior
number
night.
2, Tommy Hunsaker.
I'm sure he's chomping at the bit. And it looks like they're playing the third baseman in, but the second baseman and shortstop kind of a double play depth, Mike.
Right. With 1 out, you want to try to cut off that run at home, but you If you can turn 2, it'd be great, although Tommy runs pretty well.
Yeah, he does.
And again, the middle infielders have been a little shaky tonight. Not veteran guys.
The delivery, a breaking ball inside for ball 1.
I mean, the Blazers are, between a rock and a hard place here. They need a good break. They need to pop up or strike out, although Hunsaker doesn't strike out much. 3-0, and this game could get out of hand in a hurry. And we're in the 4th inning. This could snowball. It could be 7-8, 9-0 before you know it, and we could have a 5-inning game.
So Ryan Pence, who really, as we talked about, done a pretty good job right now, is in a big-time jam. Here's the 1-0. And that's fouled away down the left side. 1-1. That was a good pitch. Good fastball. High, hard one there on the outside corner. He's thrown some pretty good heat up there tonight.
Well, he's showing a lot of poise. He's really done the best he can here. I think Jason McCord's got to be happy with the effort.
Well, that was a good pitch on the inside corner for a strike, 1-2. And, quite honestly, with the exception of the one error, the infielders have done a pretty good job on the fielding aspect, especially up the middle with Minogue and Cremy. The delivery, that's right up the middle, and Cremy to his right. He can't get it to first base, so a run will score. That's an RBI infield single for Hunsaker. And now it's 4-0 Wilson. Still only 1 out, and the bases are still loaded.
Really great shot up the middle, right up the pitcher's foot.
Jack Gable fouls the first pitch back.
Pence had no shot making that play, that's for sure. He just had to get out of the way.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a tough one. I mean, that was ripped right at his feet.
Still only 1 out, and as I said, things could snowball here in a hurry against the Blazers. They need to make a play and get an out here.
Gable a swing and a miss, 0-2 now.
Gable on base twice already, hit by the pitch in the first, infield single in the third, came around to score to give the Bulldogs a 2-0 lead.
So nobody put this runner for Ryan Pence. Here's the delivery. Low for a ball. So 1-2.
Jack Gable, tough young hitter. First-year starter, now batting over 400 after that single last time up.
Good delivery. That is just ripped down the line and left on his horse there with Cesare. Can't get it. There's 1 run to score. 2 runs are going to score. And here comes Hunsaker. And it is a bases clearing double for Jack Gable. And he's caught in a rundown. And somehow gets back to second base. Jack Gable, wow. A 3 RBI double, gets out of the rundown as well.
First extra base hit for the Bulldogs, and boy, it clears the bases and makes this a 7-0 game.
Incredible how quickly it all changes. And that brings Coach McCord to the mound for a pitching change. And I'll tell you what, Ryan Pence was just sailing right along, and things kind of came unglued here in the 4th, Mike.
Well, one defensive breakdown really sets up the whole inning. The ground ball to the shortstop that he tried to get a force out, and he just did get the ball to his second baseman in time, allowed the pinch hitter, Siwick, to reach, You know, it could have been one out there and one runner on first. Instead, there's none out, runners first and second. I think that set up the entire inning.
I thought Hunsicker was going to run down C.J. Fernandez at the plate there for Wilson. And so it looks like that's number 31?
21,
21.
Manny Scalia in the pitch for the Blazers. His 6th appearance this season, thrown 9 2/3 innings. Control issues, 10 walks, only 2 strikeouts. And he comes in with a 7-0 deficit. Not looking good here for the Blazers.
Yeah, the floodgates kind of opened.
Which is, you know, what we were afraid of against a veteran Wilson team like this. They will pounce on you and take advantage of every mistake, every base runner, all the walks, the hit by pitches, all those little things add up.
Pitching change for the Blazers. Now on the mound is number 21, Manny Scalia.
21 for 20. So and like you said, the new pitcher there is
Manny
Scalia.
Yeah. He's a senior, right-hander. ERA pretty fat so far this season. 6.52. This will be his 6th appearance. For Ryan Pence, he goes 3 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 7 runs allowed so far. Jack Gable is still his responsibility. Walk 3, struck out 1.
Now batting the pitcher number 20, Crystal Hunsicker.
So Crystal Hunsicker comes up. Still only 1 out. Runner on second base there. Jack Gable, who just had a 3-run scoring double. And ball 1 from Manny Scalia.
Jack Gable having a terrific sophomore season. Future really bright for him and the Bulldogs. Still a fairly young team, even though they've got 8 seniors graduating. Still a lot of talent back for this team next year. Guy at the plate, Krista Hunsicker, of course. Gable, Ben Culp, probably take over that number 1 pitching role.
Yeah.
Gable can throw. We may see him later out of the bullpen.
Boy, that was a foul ball, barely down that third base line. So 0-2.
I thought that hit the bag.
I thought it did too.
Just missed.
I thought it did too. And Roy handled it cleanly, but I don't think he was going to get Hunsicker. So Manny Scalia in with the stretch and the delivery. Oof, high for a ball. Hayden Lee, good to get that one behind the plate. So 1-2 on the Bulldogs pitcher. So Crystal Hunsicker.
Well, if Manny Scalia can't stop the bleeding, this game could end shortly. The Blazers have only 2 at-bats left. If the Bulldogs get a couple more runs here, take a 10-0 lead, the pressure is on them.
So 1-2 the count. Pitcher Manny Scalia for the Boone, and that's golfed to the shortstop there, Minogue, and in time for the out at first, and a wild throw by Sismeric trying to get the runner, trying to get Jack Gable, who had kind of strayed a little bit from third, but that one goes all the way into the tarp.
Well, I don't know what he was trying to do there.
Yeah.
I mean, he had no shot of getting that runner. And, wow.
So that makes it 8-0 now.
Second error on the Blazers.
That clears the bases, and now Nick Fiorini in there, the center fielder, takes strike one.
Ninth batter this inning for the Bulldogs. They've got 6 on the board already.
Got awful quiet, too, around
Well, the Wilson bench was pretty alive earlier in the inning, but I think, they're up 8-0.
Correct, exactly.
You know,
I mean,
and
how much more salt you want to throw in the wound, I guess.
The Blazers bench was alive early in the game, but, tough to get excited when you're down 8 in the 4th inning.
So that's ball 2 to Nick Fiorini. Manny Scalia now in pitching for the Daniel Boone Blazers. 2 out here in the top of the 4th inning. The pitch. He got it on the inside corner there. So 2-2. Good pitch there. Good fastball.
Fiorini's a good 2-strike hitter. He's confident. He's not afraid to let a couple go by. He hit a 2-strike single in the 1st inning.
So here's the 2-2. And that's ripped to the outfield, but the center fielder under it, Ryan Kreibel, he squeezes it for out number 3. So 3 runs, or excuse me,
Three hits.
I'm sorry.
6 runs.
6 runs, 3 hits. No errors and nobody left. So we go to the bottom of the 4th inning with Wilson now up 8-0 on Mike Drago Sports. Back in a minute. Okay, back here at Owls Field, Bruce Badgley, Mike Drago, and a very special friend and a very special guest. Joe Mays joins us on the broadcast. Joe, good to see you, my man.
Bruce, Mike, thanks for having me on your live stream. This is absolutely awesome. Is this an opportunity you provide to all your paid subscribers of the live stream subscription? Do you get to come on the broadcast if you show up to the game?
You're pretty close to being right, yeah, so far. But in the future, going forward, no, that won't be the case.
Oh, okay, that's not a perk you offer.
No.
Okay.
But great to have you here. Joe was busy before the game taking pictures of all the seniors for senior night.
Yes, it was a lot of fun getting to recognize the Wilson Bulldogs, and glad they get to announce the Daniel Boone seniors as well here at beautiful Owls Field. What a great venue for high school baseball.
Pretty big group of seniors for the Bulldogs, too.
Yeah, almost close to double digits, I think, or maybe just over. It's a great group here, putting together a nice season.
And that's That's fouled away there by, I believe that's Nick Sismarek, the right fielder.
Yeah, this is Anthony. We have a new first baseman for Wilson. Looks like Ben Culp is now in the game.
Boy, just missed the outside corner. Excuse me, yeah, it was Anthony Sismarek.
So
Excuse me.
Joe's been busy, I know, in the last few months organizing your annual alumni football game. Tell us about that for the Wilson Bulldogs.
Yeah, this upcoming season is the 80th for the Wilson football program, and 5 years ago we had a big event for the 75th season. It was an alumni flag football game. And after that game, Coach Doms joked with me and said, hey, we're going to do this every year. And I said, I'm not sure about that. But if you're still coaching in 5 years, we'll do it again in 5. And he laughed, and here we are. So it's Saturday, September 14th. It's the day after the Wilson-Reading game at Albright. And we have a fantastic group of players. We already are up to 43 signed up. I'm going to take another about maybe 2 dozen or so, or whatever we can fit in. Still working on a lot of guys. There's still some that are hesitant, but it was a great time, and I feel like we're going to get a few more names to sign up, and I can't wait to release the full roster soon.
You bringing Kerry Collins back for that game?
have reached out to Kerry, but he is coaching high school football as well as John Gilmore, who John is very much aware of the game, and he said he'd love to participate, but the combination of him coaching high school football in Florida and his son being recruited for high school football, he's got Saturday recruiting visits, he's not able to make it. I'm still working on Chad Henney, Coach Chad Henney. He's been hesitant to play, but I think we can get him involved in some form.
And out number 2, squeezed by Nick Fiorini in center field. And that's going to bring up, looks like that's going to bring up Maddox Roy, the third baseman.
So if Chad did decide to play, were you going to put him on like a wide receiver or defensive end?
I don't try to micromanage. I let the guys go out there and whatever feels good, let them go at it. Usually the quarterbacks tend to play quarterback. 5 years ago we had Seppi Winkler was back, Tony Sapola, Zach Zweizig, all making an appearance. Tony is back this year, as is Seppi Winkler. I haven't heard from Zach yet, but I think Eric Hetrick might be playing. Trying to get Chad out. Still working on Coach Jeremy Palm's involvement as well. Would like to see him suit up.
On his horse and right fielder Cooper Kennedy can't come up with a digging into second base is Maddox Roy for a double. So with 2 out, Blazers have a man in scoring position, and that is going to bring up, looks like we've got Ryan Kreibel, the center fielder.
19, Ryan Kreibel.
Just the second hit that Christo Hunsaker has allowed. Cooper Kennedy tried to, make a great backhanded diving stop there, but just couldn't quite catch up with it.
So runner in scoring position here with 2 outs.
So, Joe, I mentioned, you've got the inside tracker. I mentioned that Christo Hunsaker is such a good football player, could end up as the Bulldogs quarterback this fall. What do you think?
He could. That's where he's played the last few years, behind his brother. There's a handful of guys competing in these off-season workouts getting ready for this fall. And Christo is one of them that is a possibility at quarterback for the Bulldogs.
I suggested to Tommy Hunsaker last August on Media Day, I said, Christo may be the best quarterback on the team right now.
Yeah, that went over well, I'm sure.
Tommy wasn't buying that. And maybe it motivated him because he had a tremendous senior year.
He had a fantastic senior year. And he's following it up with a fantastic baseball season as well.
And Christo Hunsaker blows it right past Ryan Kreibel, the center fielder. So no runs, a hit, a man left. We're going to go to the top of the 5th inning with Wilson up 8-0 over Daniel Boone. We'll be back in a minute here on Mike Drago Sports. And we're back at the top of the 5th here. Wilson and Daniel Boone, and Wilson up 8-0. Thanks for joining us here on Mike Drago Sports. First pitch by Manny Celia. In there for a strike against number 41 there. Mike?
41 is Matty Van Ostenbridge, I believe.
Yeah, I was going to say.
They slipped that guy in on this pinch hitter here.
Yeah, okay.
Van Ostenbridge.
Van Ostenbridge, okay. That's
He's
what I was
actually been swinging the bat pretty well this season.
Coming off his no-hitter, or was that on Wednesday?
It was.
Yeah, it was.
Well, hey, it's senior night. He's a senior. He deserves a chance to play.
Get him out there. Maybe I'll get a "We Are" chant going.
That's right.
Well, I don't know if we want to go that far.
Wow. Kind of somebody yelling balk with nobody on. Okay. All right, so 2-1 the count on Van Ostenbridge. Manny Scalia, the delivery. He swung right through that one, 2-2. Going to be going to every edge of the roster here as we go down here, Mike. The next this next inning.
Van Ostenbridge will be playing for Penn State next year, but I don't think he's going to get too many at-bats up there. He's going for that big left arm of his, having a tremendous season pitching-wise. ERA below 0.5. I mean, just incredible what he's been able to do so far. And still fresh, a lot of innings in that arm.
So fouled away, we've got a full count.
He was next in the line of Great Wilson pitchers of late. Luke Holman, Cole Lehman, now Matty Van Ostenbridge stepped into that role. He had a great season last year as well. Here on senior night, actually, last year as a junior, he pitched really well against the Mifflin Mustangs.
So the delivery by Scalia. That Wilson bench alive again, and that's ball 4. So Van Ostenbridge draws the walk. It's going to bring up number 37.
Yeah, Ben Culp.
Ben Culp
came in to play first base last inning. He's the Bulldogs' usual starter
batting number
first.
37, Ben
When he's not on
Culp.
the mound. He's also starting pitcher.
got to meet Ben's dad before the game here. Very proud. Papa, I can tell you that.
No,
So
he should be. He's a big young man. He's having a big season.
and ripped and just foul. I mean, just by an
That
inch.
might have caught the line. I'm not sure.
I thought I saw a little chalk flying there.
Yeah, big fan of the Culps. They're in charge of ordering the food from May's Sandwich Shop for the away games. So big fan of the Culps.
Yeah.
Shameless plug here by Joe Mays. Way to sneak that in, Joe. I'm going to have to invoice you on that one.
Well, you can hand it off to my dad. He's sitting over there. You can just remit payment to Mike Drago.
Well, I'll take a hoagie in exchange. Yeah.
So Ben Culp digging in. The pitch. Low for a ball, 1-1. We're in the top of the 5th inning here with Wilson in command, 8-0. Ball 2.
Looks like Chase Ulrich is on first
I
base.
think that's 9.
Or is that? Oh, it's Nick Herron. Okay, so Nick Herron is in the
Courtesy runner.
Yeah. Obviously, you don't want your ace pitcher on the base pass in an 8-0 game.
No, not even if they can wear the jacket and the
And that's
the
ripped
mitts.
right to the shortstop, Minogue, Cremy, and the double play to Anthony Cismeric. Wow. I'll tell you what, this
Beautiful play.
Boone defense has been pretty solid all night long.
Great scoop by the first baseman.
And considering that the shortstop and the second baseman don't get a lot of playing time, those guys have been playing very well. So a good double play.
And that's a new first baseman in there. Looks like Ian Jacob made that play.
Wow.
Nice
okay.
stretch and a nice scoop for Ian.
And number 26 coming into the plate for Wilson. Cole Lavin. Left-hand batter digs in and high for a ball from Manny Scalia. We're going to the depths of the rosters on both teams here, Mike.
Bill Underwood challenging my scorekeeping abilities here. My scorecard's is going to be a little unreadable here shortly.
A little pop-up, short left field, shortstop going out, and he makes the grab. Anthony Minogue with a good running catch and short left. Ends the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Wilson in command, 8-0 over Daniel Boone. Bottom of the fifth, Berks Baseball Showcase. Bruce Badgley, Mike Drigo, Joe Mays sitting in with us as Wilson in command, 8-0 here.
Yeah, I think my first baseball broadcast, Bruce, but Mike talked about football. I love to talk about football, and you and I will be talking about football in about a month, huh?
About a month, that's right. We'll be doing the Manheim Touchdown Club Tri-County All-Star Game. You know, this isn't our first rodeo with that. We've been doing, you know, this is the second year that we've been doing the, you know, you've been on the play-by-play, but I've been doing the broadcast for about the last 5 years.
Many years,
and, you know, just a great organization, and so happy now that, you know, that's that the Manheim Touchdown Club is involved here with the Berks League players. So got an all-star game that the Berks League players can count on, you know, each and every year. So.
Excited to get to see all the Berks players play together. Berks and Lebanon versus Lancaster. That's a great game. I can't wait to check it out in coming up Memorial Day weekend.
So Crystal Hunsiker. And the first pitch fouling away there for.
We got a new batter here, Dane Pingatori for the Blazers.
I'm going to say that was a new number for me, Dane Pingatori.
So Crystal Hunsiker, in his fifth inning of work, allowed just 2 hits so far, has 7 strikeouts. Giving the Bulldogs exactly what they need here. They can save their top 2 pitchers for next week when they have some big games against Muhlenberg and Governor Mifflin. Pretty sure that the left-hander, Matt Van Ostenbridge, will be on the mound Monday against the Mules. And maybe Friday as well. I don't know if he'd be able to come back. You know, Friday depends on how many pitches he throws Monday.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, that'd be a huge bonus if they could throw him against Mifflin. He was unavailable 2 weeks ago when the Mustangs and Bulldogs played. And still Wilson won. That was to me, that's been the key game for their entire season. That set them up. They were able to get a huge win without their number 1 guy on the mound. And this guy we're looking at, Crystal Hunsiker, stepped up and pitched 5 or 6 really solid innings in that game.
And he just struck out Pingatori to start the 5th inning.
So that's 13 outs recorded by Wilson, eight by strikeout here for Christo. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's probably a season high, maybe a career high. It's, he strikes out about a batter per inning, but this is a pretty big number for him.
So Hunsiker, the delivery. And a ground ball to the shortstop. Gable over to first. That's Ben Culp there at first base now for the out. So 2 outs quickly.
And that was the pitcher, Manny Scalia, getting his first at bat.
Wow, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Shortstop number 27, Anthony Minogue.
Anthony Minogue steps in. Shortstop played a whale of a game defensively, Mike.
Blazers have had just 2 base runners today.
And that's his first hit of the night into right field. Almost gave it a look like he was going to try and throw him out from right field there, Joe.
Yeah, Cooper Kennedy in right field looked like he got on it quickly, turned to throw. Ben Culp was ready, too. Didn't unload it. I'm not sure he would have got it, but he could have made it interesting.
That's an outfielder's dream.
That would have been, yeah.
To throw a guy out at first base, especially in the big leagues. You got an outfielder with a big arm like a Dave Parker or Clemente. They live for stuff like that.
So Zach Cassara, the left fielder, steps in. High for a ball. It's only the 3rd hit given up by Hunsiker tonight.
Yeah, but he hasn't walked anybody, which has been the key. The bases have been pretty empty. No errors, hasn't hit anybody, no free passes.
And a good pitch there on the outside corner for a strike.
And that's what the Blazers needed if they were going to stay in this game. They needed to, get a little help from the Bulldogs, maybe have them throw the ball around a little bit. We haven't seen that.
So Hunsiker from the stretch. And the pitch. Inside for a ball, 2-1.
Nice, clean, business-like performance by the Bulldogs. I mean, this is a game from their vantage point. They got to win this and move on because they've got bigger fish to fry next week. On the cusp of making some really special things happen this season.
Yeah, season really starting to crescendo for the Bulldogs for sure. And a good curveball on the outside corner for strike 2.
Only 56 pitches so far by Hunsiker.
Man.
So he's in great shape to finish this, even if it goes 7.
It's Zach Cassara leading off first and down. Wow, great job by Ben Culp.
Called foul.
And is that foul? Yes, I'm going to say. Quick as a cat there at first. Ben Culp, but in foul territory. So just another strike, 2-2. Zach Cassara takes that one for a ball. 3-2 now. Wilson in command here, 8-0 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. The delivery. Runner goes, and a called strike 3.
All right.
So no runs, a hit, a man left. We go to the top of the 6th inning with Wilson on top, 8-0. We'll be back in a moment.
Austin. 22, Langle picked for himself.
We are back here at Owls Field as we are frantically trying to figure out who's playing in the,
Yeah, lots of
who's playing in the game
substitutions.
right now.
With double switches, courtesy runners,
Well, I'm pretty
re-entering
sure
the game.
who the batter is. It's Tim Langle, the catcher.
Yeah.
That much I know. So we'll just start from there.
Yeah, we'll just play it by ear. I think that's all we can do at this point.
And Manny Scalia is still the pitcher for Boone.
Well, Scalia, high for a ball.
He came in the fourth inning, stopped the bleeding, retired the first two batters he faced. Had a 1-2-3 fifth inning as well.
So here's the delivery. Inside. Tim Langle.
We're going to get another new hitter up next. Alex Ernesto is in the on-deck circle.
Okay. Good strike on the outside corner. To Tim Langle, who's just entered the game, or as a pinch hitter.
I think there's only two guys on the Wilson roster who have not been in this game yet.
It won't take long. I'm pretty sure they'll probably be, if they get enough batters, I'm sure that Coach Underwood will get them in there. So.
Langle walks there, so now Ernesto is up, like Mike said. And Mike and Bruce, I'm going to step away here, get back to my original job of taking some pictures. I appreciate you having me on the game. And this is quite the setup here that you have. This is really amazing to see this in action. And can't wait to watch your next broadcast. You know when your next one is?
Friday. It'll be a Mifflin and Wilson.
Oh,
so.
hey, you know I'll be watching. You know I'll be watching. So thanks, guys, for having me on. Good luck the rest of the way. And, you know, I'll be taking it all in on Friday.
Thanks, Joe. Always a pleasure, my friend. All right. Back to live action. That's Manny Scalia and swinging and missing there. That's Alex Ernesto, number 19.
And we have a courtesy runner now, headed out to second base. There's
First base.
Colby Kostelak. So now just one player left on the Wilson roster who has not appeared tonight. That's Austin Snyder, who's a pitcher. He may come in to finish the game.
Scalia and Hayden Lee had some ideas.
Now, I see a left-hander in the bullpen, number 41. Looks a lot like Matt Van Ostenbridge warming up. And I wonder if he's going to come in and throw an inning on senior night. I mean, I didn't expect that with the game Monday, and he just threw Wednesday.
Well, got a few pitches left in him, I guess. So, Manny Scalia. The delivery. And that's down to the third baseman there, and Roy can't handle it. Down the line. And holding at second there is Colby Kostelak. So runners on first and second here brings up the leadoff man, Tommy Hunsiker.
Baseman number 2, Tommy Hunsiker.
I'm thinking that's going to go down as an error for
I got to
Maddox
believe
Roy.
so. Yep. Yeah, that looks like that's the third error, I think, that went up there for Boone.
That ball was not hit that hard. So the Bulldogs are 2 on, none out. They have a chance to hit that magical 10 number, which would mean the Blazers would come up next inning possibly for their last at bat.
No. First 1 to 10 usually wins in baseball, so.
Hockey, too.
Lacrosse.
Yeah, ice hockey, usually you get that 10-0 lead, and you can
well, first 1 to 10.
kill the clock.
We'll see what happens. All right, in there for a strike on the first pitch there. So runners on first and second. There's nobody out here. Bottom of the 6th inning. Oh.
That hit him.
right in the foot. So that's going to load him up.
Tommy Hunsiger on base the third time tonight. Walk, single, hit by pitch.
And here's Jack Gable, who had a bases clearing 3-run double.
And that might be it for Manny Scalia. Jason McCord coming out. Looks like he's going to take the ball. Well, maybe not. Maybe he's going to talk about it a little bit. I'm sure he doesn't have to remind his guys they're right here on the brink. Obviously, nobody likes to get 10 run. You like to play a full 7 innings.
Yeah.
Might not be the case tonight for the Blazers.
So here in the top of the 6th.
All right, he's going to leave Scalia in there. Jason McCord doesn't have that many options.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Scalia has not been hit hard at all, really. He hasn't given up a hit yet. 2 walks, error, hit by pitch.
Got himself in a jam here, though, with the bases loaded and nobody out. The delivery, low for a ball.
And Jack Gable came up last time with the bases loaded, and we know what he did then. He cleared them off.
Exactly.
Hit a shot in the left center gap. Really opened this game wide open.
And that's just a pop
Well, that'll get
into
a run
center
in.
field. That might do the trick as far as getting a run home. Hasera squeezes it, but crossing the plate there is Colby Kostelak. So that makes it 9-0 now for the Bulldogs.
And that's 4 RBIs tonight for Jack Gable.
Pitcher number 20, Christo.
First time he's been retired.
Yeah, and Mike Drago's got to come up with a player of the game here
Yeah,
at
Jack's
some point.
making it easy. He really is. Although, I mean, Christo's pitching a great game, but Jack Gable, tough not to look in his direction for that honor.
Christo Hunsiger in there, the pitcher.
Christo 0 for 3 tonight. Reached on an error in the 3rd inning, looking for his first hit.
Low for a ball, 2-0. Still runners on first and second, only 1 out for the Bulldogs.
Colby Kostelak, the runner for the Bulldogs at second base.
Oh, okay.
Courtesy runner. He'd love to see base hit to the outfield. Take off for home.
So 3-0.
Manny Scalia about to go from the frying pan to the fire here. 3-0 count, and guess who's on deck? Nick Fiorini.
That was a good pitch on the outside corner. So 3-1.
There are better ways to spend a Saturday evening than to have to pitch to Nick Fiorini with the bases juiced.
And that's kind of flared down the right side, foul. So 3-2.
Great to visit with Joe Mays here last inning. Catch up on the latest Bulldogs football action.
Yeah.
Of course, Joe's all over the Wilson sports scene.
Exactly.
With
It
his
isn't just
camera.
football. I mean, it's everything.
Yeah,
so.
but he's shoots pictures of all their sports.
Yeah, he needs to start naming sandwiches after Wilson athletes.
Well, of course.
Ball 4, gonna fill the bases for Nick Fiorini. Yeah, I think that'll be a suggestion for Joe. He's got to have like the Chad Henne and the Kerry Collins, and
Well, if you take a trip to May's Sandwich Shop, you'll see they've got some cool jerseys hanging up there.
Oh yeah.
I think there's a Chad Henne jersey and probably a Kerry Collins jersey. Okay, we're gonna have a base runner for the pitcher. That's Chase Ulrich back
Chase
out
Ulrich,
there.
yeah.
His second appearance tonight as a courtesy runner. Ran for Jack Gable.
And ball one.
Earlier in the game. Or, sorry, for Cristo earlier in the game, yeah. He came in the third inning after Cristo reached on an error.
So 1-0 the count on Nick Fiorini. Bases loaded, 1 out here. Top of the 6th inning. A run already in for the Bulldogs. And a strike on the inside corner.
I'd say the run probability for the Bulldogs right now about 90% at this at bat. I mean, this guy makes contact. He drives the ball. He also has a good eye. Could walk with the bases loaded and force a run home.
And he fouls that one back. So 1-2.
Cooper Kennedy with the error there in the on-deck circle doesn't come up with it. Got to charge him with a knee there.
So 1-2. Fury choking up with 2 strikes. The delivery. Curveball. Oh, and it hit the pitcher in the leg. Roy up with it. No play.
Quite a shot there that Scalia took off his right lower part of his leg. He's in a lot of pain. I don't think he's going to be able to continue here. It'll go down as an RBI single, and it gives the Bulldogs that magic 10-run lead. PIAA baseball, if you're leading by 10 or more runs after 5 innings, the game is over. Of course, Daniel Boone's the home team here. They'll be able to come to the plate in the 6th inning.
Looks like he's going to try and tough it out.
Boy, I don't know.
Had that happen in the state championship game in 6A last year. Yeah, they star pitcher kind of tweaked an ankle covering first base for Father Judge, and he stayed in the game. It definitely affected him, but a Judge eventually came back and won, and he pitched a complete game victory. So it looks like we do have a new pitcher in there.
Is that number 20? I think it's Ian Cremy, who began the game at second base.
It is Cremy.
Yeah, there's no need for Scalia to continue in this game. It's 10-0. It's virtually over. You certainly don't want to risk further injuries. I mean, that ball certainly left a mark. Nick Fiorini had a great swing on it.
He'll feel it tomorrow.
Well, yeah, he's feeling it right now, I'll tell you what. So he'll get as many pitches as he needs to complete his warm-ups here when coming in for an injured player. Normally, you come in out of the bullpen, you get 8 throws. You can have a few more.
Yeah, absolutely. Still only 1 out in the inning for the Bulldogs. Runners on. Looks like we're going to have still the bases loaded.
Yep. Cooper Kennedy at bat. Ben Culp on the on-deck circle, rooting for Kennedy to get on so he can get a swing here. So the Daniel Boone Blazers really under the gun coming in today, minus 3 starters. Pitching staff thinned out against a Wilson team that's playoff ready. They got big things in mind. Berks championship, district championship, they could be playing for both once again this year as they did last year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and, look, in these times, and I'm sure, Coach Underwood, are pretty valuable because this is how you create depth in your program is, in situations like that, giving your substitutes an opportunity to play in meaningful the junctures of games.
Cooper Kennedy up for the 3rd time tonight. He grounded out, drew a walk. Matt Van Ostenbridge batted in his spot last inning. and drew a walk. And now Cooper's back in the game.
So Kennedy digging in, the delivery, and a good curveball there by Ian Cremy. Strike one. Base is still loaded, one out here in the top of the sixth. It's 10-0 in favor of Wilson.
Manny Scalia, the Boone relief pitcher, only allowed one hit. He did walk 3.
One got away from him there a little bit, so 1-1.
But, you know, he did his job. He kept a very potent lineup at bay for a couple of innings. Things kind of got away from him this inning with the error, and then he hit Tommy Hunsiker to load the bases, and then that set the wheels in motion.
And a little pop-up, short left field. Long run there for Hasara. He's got it. So 2 outs. Good hustle there by Zach Hasara.
And now Ben Culp, dangerous hitter, comes to the plate for the Bulldogs.
What was that? Oh, okay. So the delivery, Ian Cremy, good curveball in there for a strike. So 0-1, the delivery, and that's lifted out into left center field and got it there. The left fielder retires the side, so see, 2 runs, 1 hit. We have 3 left, and that takes us to the bottom of the 6th inning with Wilson on top, 10-0 over Daniel Boone. We're back in a little bit. Okay, bottom of the 6th. As Wilson vaults out to a 10-0 lead here. Kind of pouring it on the last couple innings, Mike. And Daniel Boone a little bit undermanned. And
So Bill Underwood has done it. He's managed to get every player on his roster into tonight's game. We have a new catcher. That'll be Austin Snyder.
and step again, number 17.
Henry Riviello.
Riviello, yes.
Yeah, coming in for Nick Sismarek. So it's do or die time for the Blazers, down 10 runs. If they don't score here, the game is over. Christo Hunsiker, 3 outs away from a complete game shutout. Working on a 3-hitter right now. His defense has backed him up with error-free baseball. And he's made it pretty easy for them.
So Riviello digging in, and a curveball in the dirt. 1-2.
Hunsiker with 8 strikeouts.
The delivery, ball 2, outside. 2-2 the count. Henry Riviello digging in, and he swings and misses. So that's out number 1. And stepping in, looks like that's
Number 25, Ian Jacob.
Ian Jacobs. Both coaches kind of emptying their benches here tonight. Ian Jacobs, right-handed batter. Low for a ball. Christo Hunsiker. Just yeoman's effort today, or this evening. Nice fastball in the outside corner. So 1-1.
9 strikeouts, no walks, only 3 base runners allowed by Hunsiker, all on singles.
And sharp grounder to the third baseman and over to first, but draws him off. Drew off Ben Culp. That was
And
Tommy Hunsiker.
Yeah, that's going to go down as a throwing error for Tommy Hunsiker.
Pinch hitter number 4, Logan Herzog.
So Logan Herzog steps in for the Blazers.
Replaces
The replacement of the
Hayden Lee, the catcher, who was 0 for 2.
So Herzog with a runner on and fouls it back. So 1 out, a man on. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Thanks for joining us here, Mike Drago Sports. Berks Baseball Showcase from Owls Field. Winding it down. It's been a lot of fun the last couple days, Mike. I mean, we've been all over the place. Started out on, Thursday evening and out in the stands, and now last couple games here, in the press area, and it's just been a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we've gotten to look at 3 of the 4 best teams in the league: Muhlenberg, Governor Mifflin, Wilson. Twin Valley not involved in the Berks County Showcase, but they are certainly up there.
And that's hit into right field and squeezed for the out, Cooper Kennedy. So that's out number 2. So Boone, in all likelihood, down to their final out. Looked like
Maddox Roy.
Yeah, Maddox Roy.
Third baseman number 29, Maddox Roy.
Roy 1 for 2 with a strikeout.
He's
the
been
only extra base hit for the Blazers.
He's been busy in the field all night long.
He has. He made some really good plays, charged with an error, but not an easy position down there. Ball gets on you in a hurry.
Yep, the hot corner there, baby. So 0-1 on Roy. Ball 2, or excuse me, ball 1.
So what do you think, Bruce, player of the game? We've got Christo with a possibility of a 3-hit shutout, or Jack Gable with
Yeah, I'm leaning toward Jack, quite honestly.
Yeah,
that really broke the game open.
Yeah, that 3-run double.
And that's high, and the snap throw to first, a little bit late. So 2-1 the count on Maddox Roy, the third baseman. Here's the delivery, just outside. So 3-1.
Ian Jacob, the base runner for the Blazers, reached on a throwing error. First error of the night for the Bulldogs.
The delivery right on the corner. So down to the final strike now for Boone. 3-2. Christo Hunsiker trying for the complete game win.
Looking for strikeout number 10 to end it.
Here's the pitch. Runner goes. And he did get strikeout number 10. Ends this game with an exclamation point. And Wilson comes out the victor 10-0 here in the final game of the Berks Baseball Showcase from Owls Field. Mike Drago on his way out to get our player of the game, Jack Gable. And as you can see, both teams are congratulating one another. I tell you what, just a tough evening here for Daniel Boone and Coach Jason McCord. Down 4 starters, basically. Hung in there. Good pitching to start the game by Ryan Pence. He was relieved by Manny Scalia and then finished it there with Ian Cremy, but overall, just a really good performance, obviously on the mound there by Christo Hunsiker, and some timely hitting, especially by our player of the game, Jack Gable, the shortstop. And the Wilson Bulldogs will come out on top 10-0. So as Mike gets out there on the field to track head coach Bill Underwood and Jack Gable down, we want to thank everybody who watched our broadcasts over the last couple of days. We started out there with a Governor Mifflin big-time win over Muhlenberg on Thursday. Yesterday we had a really fine showdown by Fleetwood winning with Conrad Weiser, and now a big win by Wilson 10-0 over the Daniel Boone Blazers. So got a good look at a cross-section of the Berks League boys baseball race, really coming down to a couple of key games here this week. Our next broadcast will be next Friday, actually at 4 p.m. from Rulon Griffith Stadium, where Governor Mifflin will host Wilson. And our buddy Mike is out there tracking down our player of the game. And we will, I tell you what, Mike is tracking him down. We will head to break, and we will be back in a minute. Okay, we're back with our player of the game, Christo Hunsaker. Great performance out on the mound there tonight.
Thank you.
And, you know, when you get into a big lead situation like this, how do you stay focused on really going after, you know, each and every batter? I mean, do you just try and pitch to contact? Are you still trying to whiff these guys? You know, talk a little bit about your pitching philosophy.
I'm definitely just trying to get it in the strike zone because I know my team's going to have my back defensively. I mean, only one error tonight and a lot of opportunities to make errors, but they all made the plays, and I put it in the strike zone for them to hit it, luckily tonight.
Yeah, pitch to contact. And
That's
but
right.
you guys have, you know, some big time games, you know, upcoming as well. Talk a little bit about, you know, the attitude in that dugout. I mean, you know, you had a tough loss, you know, last night. Coming back, were you trying to send a message tonight?
Well, we definitely have a lot of confidence in each other, and we know that when someone's at the plate, they're going to be able to do what they need to do for the team. So having that confidence allows us all to play freely and play for each other.
So you had 11 strikeouts tonight. I'm going to guess that's a career high for high
I
school.
believe so, yeah.
That's a lot of strikeouts for a 6-inning game, and you looked very aggressive. You really went at the hitters tonight. Was that your mindset, just to attack and make them do the work?
Definitely. This is my first game back in a little while, so I was trying to get back into my rhythm at the beginning, but about halfway through the game, I was feeling pretty good, and again, pitching to contact, so in the strike zone, and they just went by.
Now, just one error tonight. The guy that made it, you going to have a little talk with him maybe on the way home?
Oh, I can't blame him. I mean, they weren't getting too much action, but when they did get action, besides that one, they did it. They could do it.
So it's senior night here tonight at Al's Field. You're a junior, of course, but your brother, you played with him your whole life.
Yeah.
What was it like to see him and his classmates, you know, be honored before the game and then to come out of here with a big win?
It was a little sad because I love playing with all of them. I have a lot of fun, and they teach me a lot. So I'm going to miss them when they're gone, but they're good leaders, every one of them, and it's fun to play with them.
Well, you know, don't be too sad because you got a lot of games left.
That's right.
To play with them. Next week's a big week. Of course, you get Muhlenberg and Mifflin, Division I up for grabs, and then, of course, the county and the district playoffs. So, you know, how do you feel going into the playoffs? I mean, we're only a week or so away from the start of the postseason about this team. How do you feel?
I feel like with this game we can get a little momentum. We have a little revenge against Muhlenberg. They beat us last time, and hopefully we can keep it going through the Mifflin game, and then into the playoffs. We have a deep pitching staff. We have a lot of kids who can really deal. So I'm excited. We're all excited.
So obviously, baseball a big part of your family between your brother and dad and everything like that.
Yeah.
Is there a day go by that there isn't baseball going on or something related to baseball, you know, in your household?
Not really. Not really. We talk about baseball a lot. We're around baseball. We love baseball. So, and we play other sports, but baseball is, we're around baseball a lot.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's you know, pretty special to, you know, have you here, and you know, obviously a pretty special, you know, Wilson team out there, and
Yes.
I tell you what, thanks so much.
Thank you.
For, you know, you stopping by, whatever like that. It was
Thanks
a
for having me
pleasure
on.
watching you play, and
Thank you.
you know, we'll have Coach Underwood here in a moment, so
Nice.
just stay tuned. We'll be right back. Okay, and we're back with head coach Bill Underwood. Bill, we talked before the game. I'll tell you what, it's been a long time since I talked to a coach who was, you know, you were very confident and very relaxed, you know, in the dugout, especially after, you know, coming off of a tough loss, you know, last night. I mean, but that's baseball. You got to shake it off. You got to go out there and perform, and you guys sure performed out there well tonight.
Yeah, we did. I knew that yesterday we were going to have a tough game against Red Lion. They're a quality opponent. But you know what makes it easy to be relaxed is when your players are relaxed. They came in and they're pretty short memory, and so as a result, they come in and they know they got a job to do, and you know we try to do the best we can to make sure that we prepare them and we were able to get some runs up pretty early and kind of build on some stuff and kind of compound some things that they were helping us out a little bit, with some walks and some errors. And so I was telling the guys that we got to take advantage of those things, and we were able to do that tonight.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about your starting pitcher. Christo gave you everything you could have wanted. He complete game, saves your bullpen.
Yeah.
I saw number 41 warming up at the end of the game, but you didn't need him. But
No.
what was so special about Christo tonight?
Well, what Christo does a really good job of is pounding the zone with his fastballs, and he can move the ball in and out. And so when you think about a fastball, it's not just one pitch, but if you can hit your spots inside and out, that's really 2 pitches. And so he's able to do that pretty well. And then throws his curveball in there for a strike. And he just even last week he started throwing a little sidearm fastball to kind of give a little different arm angle and different look to the hitters. And so he added that to his repertoire, and he feels confident. So that gives him another pitch. I know it's a fastball, but it's a different look for the hitters, and it seems to be working well for him.
We a little debate about who our player of the game would be, because Jack Gable had a tremendous game too.
Yeah.
3-run double really opened things up.
Yes.
As a sophomore, he's really quite a hitter.
Mm-hmm.
How's he developed since last year when he broke into the starting lineup?
Well, I think last year, he actually was on the JV team for a while there, and we knew that he was a varsity material, but we also wanted to make sure that he was getting some reps done on the JV, because when you're, the previous year he was on 8th grade middle school team, and then to jump to possibly playing against kids that are 4 years older than him, it's a natural progression. So we were like, last year, let's get some ABs down on JV, and he was hitting over 500 on JV about this time last year, and so we brought him up and he got some exposure, and we knew coming in this year that he was going to be our guy at shortstop, and he's just a gamer. He's a baseball guy year round, and with his physicality and his maturity, that we felt like he was going to be a guy, an integral part of our lineup this year, and he's done a good job with that.
Well, it was senior night, and you really put me to the test with my scorecard. You got every player on your roster in the game, I believe. Several of your seniors started. Mixed emotions before the game, watching those guys be honored.
Yeah, it is, because we know that they've put in a lot of work over the years of being part of Wilson baseball, but it's nice to have a special night for them. And so you try to make sure that you're kind of balanced in the lineup a little bit, because you want to honor them and you want them to be participating in the game, but you also have a job to do as a coach to make sure you're competitive and you're trying to get a win out of that as well. So, but yes, it's nice to be able to honor them and to see them all participate, and then we get everyone else in the game, and so it's nice.
A lot of meaningful games coming down the road.
Yeah.
How do you get your team peaking, as you go into May and then, hopefully into June?
Yeah, it is a challenge, but our guys love baseball, and you get to the end of the school year and guys are really, they like the idea of hoping, at some point in time we're practicing at 11 o'clock in the morning because there's no school. So the idea is to be able to get to the postseason and get far enough to where we don't have to go to class. We can just go to baseball.
Sure.
And so it's a motivation for our guys. But we know we got a big week coming up with Muhlenberg, and then Reading in the middle of the week, and then Mifflin at the end. So that's going to kind of place us in some spots for districts and for county playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see you again on Friday. We're going to be broadcasting that Mifflin game. Turnabout is fair play. We did the game at Wilson, Mifflin, so we'll do it there Friday. Any final thoughts there, Mike?
No, it's just a lot of things are in front of you, a lot of good things. You're going to be right there for a couple of championships.
Yeah.
Once again, you played for 2 last year. I think you're going to play for 2 this year.
Hoping. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks a lot, Coach Underwood, and we'll be back here in a minute to close things out. All right, thanks a lot. Okay, some final thoughts from the Berks Baseball Showcase here, Mike. We had some really good games and, kind of, setting of the table to the big game that we've got this upcoming Friday, where Wilson and Mifflin are going to have the rematch. We did the extra inning game out at Wilson West Middle School. Now we're going to be at Griffith on Friday to see those two match it up.
Right, and before that, Wilson's got a big game on Monday against Muhlenberg, which is still very much in the Berks won race. And the same night, Governor Mifflin has a huge game against Twin Valley, which is the only team
that's huge.
in the league that has not lost a league game yet. So those are the 4 top teams going into the playoffs. We're about 2 weeks away from the county playoffs, about 3 weeks away from districts, and Wilson's got a lot of good things ahead of him.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, we want to thank all the fans that have tuned in over the last couple days and have tuned into all of our baseball, upcoming. We've got, like I said, we've got the game this Friday, and then we'll, see about the postseason as well. But listen, thanks for joining us here. And for Mike Drago, for the gang at BNB Media, Brandon Faust, and all the guys, thanks so much. And we will see you Friday at 4 o'clock for Governor Mifflin hosting Wilson. Take care. Good night, everybody.